Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Hunt Rosano, and this is another episode of the world famous University Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call this show Online Marketing Moves. We are coming to you live today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy that you are here. Lately, I've been doing a lot of thinking, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm more and more focused on the things that I need to do. And one thing that I know that I need to do, that I'm going to talk to you about today, is creating content. Now, we all know that it does not matter what kind of business you want to do. It does not matter what kind of things you want to do online. You should always be creating content. Why should you always be creating content? You never know when you can use it. You never know when you can package it up, sell it. You never know what that content can lead to. And instead of sitting at home watching episode of TV shows, you could be creating content. You could create all kinds of content. If you have thoughts about political thoughts about God, thoughts about health, thoughts about wealth, you could create content behind that, And let's say you go on ClickBank. Let's say you want to do affiliate marketing. You go on ClickBank and you see an offer on ClickBank and you're just like, oh my goodness, I can't, and it's something that you want to do. Now you can go through your files and you can say, hey, I got content about, health. So you can upload those videos. If you have an email list, send it to your email list. If you don't have an email list, you can start like a Facebook page, Facebook group, about health and blah, blah, blah. You can start posting those videos. There's always room for your content that you have, and you don't want to wait to create content. Start creating as much as you can. Does not matter if you think you don't have anything to say. Trust and believe me, ladies and gentlemen, you have something to say. It's just a matter of you getting it out. It's just a matter. And another thing that's creating content will help you with. It will help you get into the flow. It will help you get out the nerves, the nerves out of your system. Because listen, when I first started doing this podcast, it was always, I had a lot of a lot of starting, a lot of stopping, a lot of hesitation. I used to always I would have to do it like 5 times at first, and then finally the 6th time I would have it a little bit figured out, and then I would do it, and I still didn't sound the best. Now it's more free flowing. Now it's more, I sound more natural. I don't have to sit here and think and I'm thinking, do I sound good? No, now I do it, I go with it, I upload it, and that's it. I don't think about it as much, I still care and I still put in the effort, you know what I mean? But I don't have to spend an hour trying to do one podcast. I can do a podcast in 20 minutes, you know what I mean? And so for you, the more you practice you get, the better you will be creating content. And doing all this audio stuff has led me to be more confident in doing videos. Because I don't know if I ever told you this, but I started off with a YouTube channel and I did 30 videos. There were 30 terrible videos, but I did them and I uploaded them and I had them up there for a while and I took them down. But I was always nervous doing the video. There was a lot of but now that I've done 400 some episodes of podcast, I'm not nervous about doing video. I'm not nervous about speaking to people about marketing, copywriting, affiliate marketing, digital marketing. I'm not nervous about any of this stuff. I can sit there, chit chat with people, feel confident, and be done with it. But in the beginning, there was always nervousness, blah blah blah. And the more content you create, the better you will get. The more less nervous you will be, the less frightened or whatever you will be. and you will be able to knock out content like that. And you want to have as much as you can. And it doesn't have to be a certain subject. You might not even know you might not even know which avenue you want to go down online. That does not matter. You can talk about, there's plenty to talk about. You can share your opinions on religion. You can share your thoughts about finances, health, romance, relationships. It does not matter. Create as much content as you can, and then you find the lane you want to go down, and you say, "Oh, I have content for that." And you can start uploading it. You can talk about it. You can tell people, "Hey," or if you have, let's say this is a good one. Let's say you take off and you have 70,000 followers. You can always say, "Hey, I got these lost tapes from yesteryear, and I want to package them up and sell them to you for a small price." Those are the things that you can do. Those are the things that you can have in the back of your mind. And always be thinking about your business. Never. Always be. Every day, give your business some thought. Every day, say, "Hey, which direction should I go? What direction can I head down?" Always be figuring out the map. Always be 2 steps ahead of the game. It's just like when I do the podcast, I figure, okay, what am I going to talk about this week? And then I jot stuff down and I try to do a little research. I know it might be hard for you to believe that, but we do a little research, talk about things at hand. Something I heard Dan Kennedy say a couple weeks ago, and I did a podcast about it. It's about having a script, and he talked about being scripted and not always flying off the handle. And I will tell you this, it's better. The more you do something, the more you do something. Yes, you might have a script, but the more you do something, the less scripted you sound. You know what I mean? And so Dan Kennedy talks about how him and the guy used to go to the same performances, the same seminars, but he would sell more than the guy, and the guy was up and down because the guy, he didn't have his script down pat. Dan Kennedy said he used the same pitch for like 7 years, and I thought, man, at first I thought, why? But then I got to thinking about it, and I remember I used to listen to Zig Ziglar tapes, and Zig Ziglar had the same. He had a cadence. He had the same kind of they were different stories, but he would always incorporate his boyhood of Yazoo City, Mississippi. He would always incorporate a story about his wife, and that was him. And it was good. And then I listened to a tape of his one time for like 10 hours. And sometimes the stories, they didn't repeat themselves, but the themes did. And I was like, all right, clearly this guy has done this so much, he has it down pat. And sometimes that is, not sometimes, but that is a great way to go. It's better than the first month of this podcast. I used to fly off the handle. I would just, be like, all right, I'm going to go this direction, go that direction, go on these tangents, not stay the course. Now I'm better at staying the course, and it makes a better podcast, and that is good for you, because you don't want to be talking about one thing and then you go way over here to the left, way back over here to the right. It's very inconsistent. You want to stay the course, stay on the subject, stay on that subject, and keep going down that road. All right, and have the more you do the content, the better you will sound, the better you will be. Because we all know these days people want to be entertained. The more entertaining you can be, the less you think. You can be more entertaining, do less thinking when you're creating content, and you will sound a whole lot better. All right, but be creating as much content as possible. Whenever you have free time, create content. Whenever you have a few minutes in the car, create content. Everything doesn't have to be 30 minutes. Everything doesn't have to be 15 minutes. Some content is going to be 5 minutes. Some can be 2 minutes. Some can be 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes. Does not matter. Create as much content as possible. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, And you will see it, it will wash out in the end. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the podcast today. We will be back tomorrow with an all-new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tony Rizzano. Thank you for listening. And as always, everybody, peace.